All right, looks like we are live. It's a little early. It's a little early. I think I'm lagging by like 10 seconds here. But we're a little early. And we are broadcasting live. And today's subject, here comes Miss Vanessa. Lovely wife, Vanessa.
Hello. French toast.
You got me anyway.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Oh. Sorry.
That's okay.
Me too.
Let's see here. Which one of these should we be following? I don't really want to be watching that one. Be watching this one. There we go. Okay. Maybe people will get caught up. But today, oh, there it is. I'll get adjusted here. Let me open up the Facebook. I can share that we are on live. While we're waiting on people to come online. But I don't want to waste too much time doing this. If they're interested, they can come back and start watching. But it looks like our stream is okay. Not sure how far we're lagging, but we're lagging a little bit. That's okay. Zero watching. Hopefully we'll get a few people that come in. Okay. I need that. Hold on here. Somebody calls. I'll pick you up. Alright, let's see here. We got one. Uh-oh. Our guard dog. Let's set up here. Okay. I thought that we could hit up what we tried to talk about last week, which was like what to do when you encounter strangers who need help.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that I thought this would be a good topic to talk about, period, was because there were, I came across a few things on social media. Apparently there's a Kill 'em with Kindness campaign going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the examples that they gave in the campaign was where people were in the grocery store and they couldn't afford to pay for their groceries, like they didn't have enough cash on them, or if they didn't have enough funds to pay for their groceries, and the person that was behind them immediately paid for their groceries. And there was one story where a young lady did that for someone, and she felt good about herself. She went home and she told her mom, and her mom came back with, that person was probably running a scam, you know, and it just made her, feel bad. It wasn't very encouraging.
Mhm.
But it occurred to me that maybe this is something to kind of talk about, because people do really feel that way, like that feeling of community and charity and whatnot. It's not exactly um it's not something that people do very often nowadays, at least not that you see or hear about too much. I mean, I
Right.
guess you do, like Lad Bible. I think that's how you do it. What you say going to bed, babe? All right, love you.
Love you.
Marco's going to bed. Wakes up early in the morning. You do see like some stories pop up, so I will I'll take that back. But I also know that there's a feeling that people have that they're being taken advantage of when they help someone
Right.
in that sort of situation, either like the grocery store, or maybe a homeless person begging for cash, asking for money. Um, people feel like there's a scam, you know, and I thought, we've had some encounters like that together, and I thought that, and apparently alone too. Like you had that one thing that came up um, with the old lady that pushing her walker and
Yeah.
stuff. I thought maybe you could share that. Um, but before we get into that, where was I going with this? I was on a track.
That we've encountered together and
Yeah,
apart.
yeah. People think that there's a scam there.
But the thing I've always said, if you're gonna help somebody, you're doing it out of kindness of your heart.
Right.
So if they are, like, when you give somebody money,
Hmm.
they can do whatever with the cash, right?
Right.
You go and give, do whatever they sit fit with the cash, and it's usually, it can be where they're not gonna go and use it the right way, but you don't know that.
Right.
So when you give to a person, if you're gonna give like cash, then you gotta say, okay, I'm giving it for the kindness of my heart.
Right.
What they do with it, it's on them,
Right. Yeah.
not on you.
Yeah. And you know what? That was like well, I remember when you said that, when I heard you say that the first time. I remember the first time you said that,
Yeah.
and it was it was the moment that like I was on board with that sort of thinking. But I do remember the story I wanted to share. It had to do when we were uh, at our first assignment at Edwards.
Oh yeah.
We had been in that situation before, where we were at the grocery store and we didn't have enough cash on us to cover groceries, right? And maybe the situation might have appeared different because we were two young kids who had a basket full of groceries, and we had two little kids, two babies with us,
Yeah.
trying to pay for groceries. But somebody was kind enough to help us out,
Right.
So, you know, um, what I would say is that if you're on the one end where you need the help, and somebody's kind enough to help you,
Right.
it feels good, and it's good to know that there are people who care enough to do that. Like it was,
Right.
we were short. I don't know. We were short quite a bit, actually. I seem to remember we were short quite a bit
Yeah, we have
on that bit.
and then we had like a lot of change, so we were trying to count.
Yeah, that's what it was. We had a ton of change.
We had tons of change, so we were trying to count all our change that we had to pay the difference.
Yeah.
And the lady that was behind, she was like, "No, it's okay. I'll pay for the rest." And we're like, "Oh, thank you." And we're trying to give her the change, and she's like, "No, go ahead and keep the change." We're like, "Okay, thank you."
You people, you kids obviously need it.
Yeah. So that's when it was that way.
Yeah.
But then for us, I guess we done it. Well, I've done it personally where somebody was in front of me and they were buying something and they couldn't afford something, and then I was like, I'll pay for that. And
I remember we're going to sorry, I messed that up. So I just want to put a feeler out, or a reminder out there, that in our first few episodes here, we're just going to go for 30 minutes.
right.
And then, if somebody calls, or if somebody starts engaging us on the chat, then we'll go for longer if need be. But what you just said, where you give something out of the kindness of your heart whenever somebody's asking for money or something like that,
Mhm.
like a beggar or a homeless person, or
Mhm.
maybe somebody says, I just need some cash. It happened to me the other day. It happened to me the other day too. But where, I was doing my Uber thing, and this guy wanted to ride to the liquor store, right?
Okay.
He wanted to ride. I was giving him a ride to the liquor store and back to his house, and we stop at the liquor store. It's in the not so great side of town. And, almost on cue, somebody comes knocking up on my window, and it was a lady. She came knocking up on my window. She gave me, she said she needed she asked me for some change because she wanted to go across the street to the churches to get her something to eat, which there wasn't churches across the street. And I didn't think about it. I grabbed the change that I had in my whatever, and I gave it to her and told her have a good day. And but there was a time when I probably wouldn't have done that, and that um that way of thinking changed that one time when we were in Myrtle Beach
Mhm.
and we were going to that IHOP. What was that lady asking for money for? Do you remember? There was a lady.
I don't remember what she was asking for money for, but
Maybe she needed gas or something like that.
yeah,
But she was standing at the entrance of IHOP,
yeah,
right? And she was asking people for money as they went into IHOP. And
yeah.
she saw us coming. There she comes. And I remember I was feeling like, oh, here we go. And without even missing a beat, you
Yeah, cause I
you
just
passed her $1 or something like
I
that.
gave her $2. I think I had only $2, and I'm like, boom, and I passed her $2.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you know what? I don't have a lot, but here, and I gave her the $2.
And then that's when I was like, she's probably gonna, blah blah blah, just being all negative and stuff. She's probably gonna go,
Yeah,
who knows what with that money, Who knows what she's gonna do with that money. And you were like, what? And then you said what again? What was it?
I did it out of the kindness of my heart, and whatever she does with it is gonna be on her, not on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where my thinking changed, because it was like, huh,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah, and it's not like you have to give them a whole lot.
Right.
You don't have to give them a whole
Right.
lot. If you have $2 in your, well, then give them the $2. If you just have change,
Right.
then whatever that change amounts to, it's not gonna be a whole lot.
Yeah.
You
If
just give it to
if
'em.
you're sweating over $2,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Maybe
Yeah.
you should start standing on street corners. Okay, no, don't do that.
Don't do that.
I'm just joking.
Just just you're.
But you know what? I think you made a very, when you said that, it's like a light went off in my head.
Yeah.
And I kind of, at that point, I really adopted, and that was recently. That was like as recent as like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was at that moment when my thinking changed, where I was thinking to myself, you know what, I'm gonna adopt that same way of thought. And you know what, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter the mistakes that a person made
Mm-mm.
that got them to the point where they were holding their hand out for some change. If they need help,
Right.
then it's just $1, or
Yeah.
it's just a little bit of change.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hold it against them.
No.
I don't because
But,
it's out of the kindness of your heart.
But I mean, and I guess you could also tell because we were in a different situation where we were going out to eat and it was nighttime and then the guy came up,
Oh, yeah.
but he was telling we came out because we were waiting for our table to open up, but he was telling a story to some people that were outside already, right? And then we kind of heard some of his story, like he was telling them like some of the story. And then when he saw us, he came over, and then and we noticed that some of the story kind of changed, and that's when we're like, no.
Yeah.
You're kind of, so if you're in a situation like that, and
it's definitely situational.
Yeah.
It's definitely situational.
If it's a situation like that, and you're like, dude, why did you tell people one story?
Yeah.
You know.
And he did. I see. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the Olive Garden.
Yeah.
At Myrtle Beach again.
Again, and it's just like, that's not what you were. And then after he finished talking to us, he went to somebody else, and it was like he started all over again. And it's just like, he wasn't keeping his story legit. So I mean, it depends on situation.
It's definitely situational.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah.
As you're about to share, I hope you came across a situation. Where's that microphone at? There it is. I hope they're able to hear you.
Okay.
Are y'all? I don't know who. We got people watching. Can you chat and ask? Is it?
Yes, it's moving when I talk.
Barely.
No, it wasn't. It was moving when I talked too.
Burr. Okay.
Anyway,
the needle's moving big time when I talk.
Because.
Anyway, I'm
loud.
I'm loud. Okay, so anyway. Situational. It's situational.
It is situational.
So, if you would share the story about the bag lady.
Would you quit calling her a bag lady?
Wasn't she a bag lady?
No, she was not a bag lady. She was just homeless. Doesn't mean she was bag. She was a
she
bag.
Had a bag and she was a lady.
No, she did not have a bag. She had her walker, and she was walking across the street. And I was coming. I don't even know where I was coming, but I was coming across that street, and then I saw her cross the street, and then I was like, "Where is this old lady going?" So I ended up like nobody, like she was barely getting across. So then I just turned around, and then I parked behind her, and I kept on, I got out of my car, and I said, excuse me. I said, where are you going? She was like, I'm going to that bank. I said, across the street, and it's a busy street. So I was like thinking, you barely crossed this one. How are you gonna cross that one? So I told her, get in. So she got into the car, and I put her walker in the back, and I drove across, and then we went through something, and then she went and got her money out, and then she told me she was homeless, and she was living off of this motel over here. And then she asked if I was busy right now, and I said, no, what you need? And she goes, I just need to pay my storage and my phone bill. And I was like, okay, show me where that's at. So I did. I took her to pay her storage, and then I took her to her, to pay her phone. And then she was like, I'm not.
This is a lady that she didn't even know.
No, I didn't know. I just felt sorry for her because she was an old lady. And then she kept on asking me, I'm not keeping you from it. I said, no, as long as we're done by 11, I'm good, because at 11 I have to go pick up my son from work. But she's like, okay. So yeah, and then she had to get off, and we got off at where she had to pay her phone bill, and then after that, she was like, okay. She goes, now you can take me, if you don't mind taking me back to the motel. I said, sure. So I took her, and I dropped her off. And before she got off, she prayed for me, and I told her, she goes, thank you. And I said, no problem. And I said, well, thank you for the prayers. I just did it because I saw you out there, and you remind me of my grandmother, so I wouldn't want my grandma out there. But she was by herself because she didn't have nobody.
Right.
She didn't have nobody, so I was like.
She told you that story. She told you a story of her kids and stuff.
Yeah,
like
her kid, her ex-husband passed by now, but then her kids were very abusive towards her, so that's why she was by herself. Because I even asked, like, you don't got no kids? And she said yes, but last time she was with them, like, they were abusing her, and I was like, okay, never mind, don't go to that situation again. So, like,
either way, when you told me that story, when she told me that story the first time, that she picked up a complete stranger off of the street who was walking around, and at first I was like, you did what? Are you crazy? There are crazy people out here. But
she was an old lady. What was she gonna do?
you never know. She might be like Black Widow or Femme Fatale, all grown up, all old out. I mean,
Well, she didn't know.
anyway, I'm making
I'm
jokes.
crazier than that lady, so I don't think she would have tried anything.
Okay, that's
So-
why he did it, because he goes,
Yeah.
boy, girl, I'm gonna tell you what, you go cha cha cha.
Yeah, and she was a sweetheart. So yeah, I helped
But
her.
that
and-
was awesome. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I don't think, I mean, how many people would do that?
Yeah.
How many people would do that? Not to say that you know, I'm talking you up because I'm like, I know you're not tooting your own horn here.
No.
It was something that you felt compelled to do
Yeah.
because it was a person that needed something.
Yeah.
And I think it goes back to talking about what we were talking about before, is that, you know, people find themselves in these situations where they need help.
Yeah.
You know, not every person is scamming someone else. And even if they are scamming, right? Even if they are scamming, just like you said, if you are helping a person, giving $1, $2, a ride, something like that, because you're trying to be nice, then really that's all that matters.
Right.
That's all that matters. You're trying to be nice. You're doing it out of the kindness of your heart, like you said. And what after that?
If they have bad intentions with the money you gave or the money you gave, then it's on them, not on you.
Right.
Because you started off, hey, I'm doing this because they need the help, and what they do with it is it's on them.
Hey,
Not-
Gotcha's watching.
Not on your conscience, it's on them. Cause
Yeah.
if they have something bad to do with that money, then it's on them.
Right. So I mean, like I said,
But if they ask you, I need money to, buy me something to eat.
Right.
Well, you're gonna give them money to buy them something to eat.
Right.
And you're doing it, okay, because they're hungry. You want to help them out. So yeah.
I'm not offended by homeless people. You know, sometimes it seems like people are. Can you say hello to Gotcha? Type in hello or something like that. Hold on, right there. Bam. Hello, Gotcha. I'm not offended by homeless people. Sometimes it seems like people are offended by homeless people. You know, I get it. I get it how, you know, when you see someone who's homeless on the street, it makes you uncomfortable. I get it. But I'm almost certain to like 1,000,000,000% that person doesn't want to be sleeping on that street. You know what I mean? That person doesn't want to be asleep on those church steps.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to be doing that. And the circumstances that put them on at that point, the way I see it, it's irrelevant when it comes to giving them some change or giving them a sandwich or something like that.
And yeah, if you don't want to give them change, then if you're gonna go buy you something to eat, then grab something.
That's what I do.
And then boom, hand them over
That's
a
what I do.
sandwich or something.
Yeah, that's what I do when I'm downtown.
It's like that's okay too, because then okay, at least they're gonna get something to eat, and they're not gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do they get their magic markers? I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
Where do they get their to write on their boards?
Huh?
To write on their write on their cardboards and stuff.
Okay. Okay.
Well, magic marker probably don't cost that much.
Yeah.
Or they could probably get it from one of the stores and not.
I didn't even know that. Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine they get their magic markers where everybody else gets their magic markers.
Yeah.
But that's what I do. What you just said, you know, when I'm downtown, I go grab something to eat.
Yeah.
You know, one of my favorite places to go eat is at Subway, and there's a guy that's, you know, on the corner of King and Calhoun once in a while, and he's just kind of, you know, he's kind of hanging out there.
Right.
If I can go to Subway, get the old combo pack, grab me the bag of chips, head back the other way, toss in the bag of chips, say, there you go, buddy. Maybe give him $1 if I got some change on me. And then, you know, I'm off to the races. I continue my day. It's like, what, you know.
Yeah.
It took me like no time.
Yeah. Because you're getting yourself something to eat, so you're not wasting your time or going out of your way. Yeah.
And whether or not, you know, if it's a scam, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I don't know. I just know that growing up, my parents always helped people, so I get that. We won't do what my parents did because that was back in the 80s and 90s. But
back when you could pick up a hitchhiker
yeah,
on the street. Off the
we
road.
picked up a family. Their vehicle was stranded right outside of town. We were coming back into our hometown. They were stranded right outside, and my dad pulled over, tried to help, couldn't start their vehicle, and then Daddy was like, "Well, aren't y'all coming up?" And my parents, we all fit into the vehicle, and they brought them to the house, and they spent the night. And the next morning, Daddy went back to their vehicle, and they helped get the vehicle started, and they were off wherever they were going. Never saw them again, but yeah, it was stuff like that. But
yeah, that's. I'm
that
not sure you would do that.
No, you can't do that now.
Yeah.
But back then, it was
a different story.
It was a different story, you know. Now, definitely don't do that.
Yeah, anybody who's watching, if you want to give us a call, chime in with your inputs, what your thoughts or on the subject is. You know, how do you feel about helping the strangers? You know, are you comfortable with the idea? There are no wrong answers.
Oh, no.
You know, if you don't feel comfortable helping somebody who's on the street or helping somebody that's in the grocery store, maybe they came up short in the bill for the grocery store. Maybe you got somebody stranded on the side of the road, needs help with changing a tire. You know, whatever, call in. We got our phone number scrolling right there. We got our graphics department. We're paying those people good money to get that phone number to scroll. 843-879-8729. Hey, look at that. There's Gotsy. Hello, you're live with This Way Out. There's probably a little bit of a delay.
Baby.
Yeehaw! Yeehaw!
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, bud. Can you hear me?
Okay. Oh yeah, there's a delay. Let me turn my speaker off.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, this is a good subject. I really like the subject you're talking about because sometimes me and my wife kind of feel a little bit different about this.
Yeah.
So.
You're both on different sides of the fence?
Well, about giving to certain individuals that ask for money.
Right. Well, what are your feelings about it since I got you on the phone?
Yeah. Let me see. My thing won't turn off. Hold on. I can hear it. Hold on. Let's see if it works. Okay, so yeah, I like what you guys are talking about, but I just usually when I see people that ask for money, I usually just end up, giving them what they need. But I have had where it comes back on me, where maybe their story or their intention is good. So I'm sorry, I'm watching a couple of kids right now. So
it's okay. You said it came back on you because their intentions were not good. Like what happened?
Okay, so it was actually prom night for me. That's back in 2001, 2002.
Yeah.
So my brother was with me, and this couple came up and gave us a story about. Usually, it always starts with a story.
Right.
People don't want you to invest in it unless they can sell it. And I'm not saying that people are doing that to scam, but sometimes people that scam you do that.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
They have a story.
Right.
So anyways, the couple said that they were out of gas and they needed money for gas, and we ended up giving them what we had. I think it was like $25.
Yeah. Wow.
So we gave them $25, and they ended up using the money. Later on, we saw the couple where there was no vehicle. This was an hour and a half after the fact. We saw the couple walking back, and they had whatever they bought with the money in hand. My intentions were good.
Right. Yeah.
But I didn't know these people.
Right.
My thing is like when somebody asks something of you, regardless of their intentions, you just do it.
Yeah. It's just yep. Vanessa touched on that before, and like I said, up until a couple of years ago, when Vanessa said it out loud, it that's kind of when I adopted the new way of thinking. But I was the same way. I was like, I told her, I don't know if you were on earlier today, but earlier in our broadcast, but when we were at IHOP, this lady was asking for cash. Vanessa gave her a couple of dollars. We went into the IHOP, and then immediately I was like, I said what a lot of people say. She's probably scamming, right? I said that, and then Vanessa came back with, she did it out of the goodness of her heart, et cetera, et cetera. And that's when it clicked to me. And that's what we're trying to kind of pass on with this episode here, is to say, if you are helping somebody who's in need, right, or if you're helping, whether they are actually in need or not, is in a broad sense irrelevant. If you are doing something out of the kindness of your heart, then that essentially is the important part.
Yeah.
And I would say there are probably fewer scammers than there are people who are actually need help. So you are more than likely actually helping somebody who needs help.
Well, I mean, have you ever had someone just straightforward say, "Hey, I need this for booze"?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I was in D.C., Washington, D.C.
Did you feel compelled to help them, or did you feel that you would enable them?
I honestly didn't put that much thought into it, Gotsy. I just like, here you go, here's $1. Maybe that's a bad thing, I guess. Maybe that is a bad thing, by enabling a behavior that's essentially, bad for them. But what they do to themselves, I guess, it's not my, I'm just trying to, I don't know. I was trying to be nice. Yeah.
He was honest.
He had a sign that says, "I'll be honest, I need a beer."
Right.
So I gave him $1. I said, "Hey man, here's one for honesty."
That's true, but then is your intention good? Because it may not be good for that individual.
Ooh, here we go. Philosophical something or other.
Yeah, this is my wife hates what I talk.
No, that's okay. That's okay. It's definitely an element, a different angle, different perspective. But I would say that
I wouldn't give him $1.
You wouldn't give him $1?
No, because he was gonna go buy booze with it. He don't need booze. He needs a meal.
Yeah, but okay, yeah, but my side of that story would be, who am I to tell a grown ass man what he can and can't do? Here's $1. You know what I mean? He found himself. He's in that position, because of his own life choices. You know what I mean? Maybe at some point he'll decide. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not. That's.
I guess that's not for us to decide for him.
Yeah, it's not really. It's not really. Yeah, I don't really. I don't know if it's judgment or whatever. I just don't think about it that deep, I guess.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, here you go, buddy.
Yeah.
And you didn't give him that much.
You know what? I'm about smiles and laughs, and maybe that's a bad thing.
Yeah. and you didn't really give him enough to go really crazy on.
No, I gave him $1.
Yeah. So.
Well, I had a buddy of mine that I worked with, because I'm currently an instructor right now, and then my other brother, we went to go eat one day, and this guy came in the restaurant, and he was asking for money or whatever, and then the instructor that I was with, this guy is very giving. He will give the shirt off his back, but he's also kind of rough around the edges on a few things. Mm-hmm. And what happened was the man asked for money. He said, "I don't mind giving you something, but I need to know what do you need it for." The individual then said he needed gas, and then he's like, "Okay, well, show me where your car is." It led to this whole interrogation.
Yeah.
But the thing was, his intentions were good, and the other individual's intentions was not necessarily good, and he didn't want to get burned.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess there's ways of dealing with it, and everybody deals with it differently. Some people would rather just give them money and just say, maybe the problem will go away for them. I don't know.
Yeah.
But everything is perspective, too.
Yeah.
You don't really know what those individuals are going through, and, I'm just a firm believer. If somebody asks something of you, just give it to them, regardless of their intentions. Your intentions are good, and you don't need to be praised for them because your intention was good.
Yep.
You know?
And we're not saying fund their college, tuition or like that. You just give them $1 or so. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that. I can part with $1 and walk away with a clean conscience. I don't, I'm not. But I mean, I also understand what you say whenever you make the point about whether or not you're enabling a behavior or enabling a destructive behavior, especially, and I don't put that much thought into it. I just help because the guy asked.
Right.
Thanks for calling in, Gotsy. How you been, buddy? Real quick.
I'm enjoying it. I'm watching. I'm usually watching the kids at this time, so I'm usually on YouTube and I see you pop up on live. So I thought I'd give you a watch. So
thanks, buddy.
So keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. It's very inspiring.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Congratulations on that promotion, by the way.
Oh yeah. I couldn't believe it when they told me. They were like, "Hey, you made it." So.
I'll tell you a story later about when I got promoted to that same rank. It involves a full-board colonel and some foul language. I'll talk to you.
not for this channel.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me. I'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks, bud.
Bye-bye.
See ya. I guess that is a side of the, that's just another way of looking at it. If you're enabling a behavior or whatever, I just don't put that much thought into it.
I don't either, because I remember when we were when I was staying with Mom and Dallas, and me and Christy, which is his mom and sister and brother, and we went to 7-Eleven, and somebody was asking for change right outside of 7-Eleven. And I just went, whoop, and I gave him the change. Right. And then we went inside. We got what we needed. We came up. And then I remember your brother saying, Mom says never to give people money like that. Mm-hmm. I said, why? He goes, because you never know if they're going to go buy drugs or alcohol. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, and I said the same thing. I did it out of the kindness of my heart. What their intentions to do with that money is on them.
Yeah.
Not on me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and he kind of looked at me like, and I've always,
I just had an epiphany. Bob,
and that was back in
Bob Concannon.
Oh,
Bob Concannon.
Right.
Grand Forks. He was a catechist in a Rites of Christian Initiation for adults in the Catholic Church, and we were having some sort of debate about that. Involving like how you get involved in other people's lives or stuff like that, and correcting this or that. And he was the instructor, the teacher or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And he looked at me dead in the eye and he goes, "You are responsible for yourself getting into heaven, not anybody else."
Yeah.
You're responsible for yourself and your journey into heaven, not anybody else's. Yeah. And that just popped into my head when you said it. When you said it that way. Yeah, see that?
But I've always,
we're supposed to be helping people. Yeah. I mean, if you're a person of a Christian faith, the community is a big thing.
I always had that because that was, goodness, that was when my uncles were like little.
Right.
So that was 20 years plus years ago. Right. So I've always had that. I'm doing it out of the good intention of my heart, and whatever they do with it, it's on them, not on me.
Yep. That's true.
That's how.
Couldn't agree more. All right, so we're about to go 10 minutes over our first limit. Yeah. Our first limit. We're going to 40 minutes. Our intention was to go 30 minutes. So we'll stay on a few more minutes to see if anybody else calls in or if we have any more people get involved with the chat. But today we're talking about, or tonight we're talking about, what do you do when a stranger needs help? Do you help them? Do you look the other way? Do you keep walking? I think that there are no wrong answers here.
No.
I don't think there are any wrong answers here. There are no right or wrong answers. If somebody asks you for some money and you look the other way and keep walking, then that's what you do.
Yeah.
You know, but if you do help, I guess the message that we're trying to pass on here is that if you do help, don't feel silly about it. Don't feel
Oh,
bad
no.
about it. You know, if you're helping because you want to help and it makes you feel good to help, then that's okay.
Mhm.
That's okay. It's not on you what a person does with, you know, when it comes to money, you know, especially
Right.
when it
It's
comes to
not
money,
on the person.
right? If somebody's got a flat tire on the road and you help them change a flat tire, then that's heavy props on you. Good for you. That's a good deed. That's a heck of a good deed. Or if you see an old lady walking and in a dangerous situation where she's trying to cross the street and you pick her up
And you give her a ride.
and you give her a ride all around town, complete stranger, then that's a good thing too. That's a good deed.
She's an old lady.
Right. I guess when it comes to like whether or not you look the other way, it's about money. That's really what it boils down to.
Yeah.
No, I mean, no, it doesn't.
Oh, it
No.
does.
I've got that all wrong.
No. Yeah.
When it comes to
'cause-
doing a good deed, pretty much for a stranger or helping out a stranger,
Yeah.
if you choose to look the other way or continue, you know, on about your day, then that's what you do.
Yeah.
You know, then that's what you do.
I mean, because I remember driving by and there was a man
But if you help, good on you.
that was pulled aside, but he was in front of his car, and then by the time that's when he was trying to fag me down, and I was like, no, because first he was a man, and then two, I had my kids, and I'm like, no, because if he goes
Yeah,
crazy,
yeah,
I don't need my kids around.
definitely situational.
So it just depends on.
It's situational.
Yeah.
Trust your instincts. Definitely trust your instincts.
And I was like, no, I'm by myself with my kids. No, I'm not. No, I'm not gonna stop by. So I just kept my butt.
Unless
But
you have bad instincts.
Yeah.
If you know you're the kind of person who makes bad choices, then maybe it's not a good idea to help strangers.
I mean, and we helped the lady that
Trying to
was
make jokes.
on the side of the road too. Remember when we were going?
Oh, the lady that looked like she'd been thrown from a car.
Yes.
Yeah.
We found her aside, and
God bless her.
There's a lady, and you're like, what? I'm like, I'm not playing. There was a lady on the side of the
Yeah,
road.
man, that's a crazy story. I don't know if it applies to this thing, but
But
I mean, I guess it does apply. Yeah.
We did help her out because we stopped and we called 911 to come. Well, we didn't.
All right, here's the story. We're on a ramp getting ready to get onto a major interstate, and this ramp kind of bends around, and you know, S's like that. That's my demonstration. That's my S. As we're bending around, right? I'm driving. Vanessa's in the passenger seat. She looks over onto the grass out the passenger seat, and then she starts hollering.
There's a lady on the side of the road, passed out.
Yeah. And, you know, pull over immediately and threw it in reverse so I could get a little bit closer to the lady. Not sure what the situation is. Tell Vanessa to stay in the car. Ask Vanessa to stay in the car. Go check out on the lady. And sure enough, there is a lady, and she's in a heap. Right? All balled up in a heap. And I'm like, this lady's dead. This is a dead lady.
She didn't move for a while.
Yeah, and I went to get on the phone to call 911. She started shifting and moving. And, you know, she looked like, you know, when she did come to, she did seem like she was either intoxicated or maybe, you know, on something. So we called 911 and we had ambulance, police came out to come and check her out, and then they sent us on our way. But, you know, she was determined to get up and leave, right? And there was no way she was leaving. I'm pretty sure she broke her ankle because her leg was, her foot was pointing in the wrong direction and all that stuff. But she was determined. She wanted to take off. And it was probably because she was intoxicated or something like that. She thought maybe she was going to get in trouble, but she definitely needed help.
Yeah.
And there was no leaving that person on the side of the road. I mean, people aren't trash. You can't just throw them on the side of the road and leave them. So we called,
We called 911, and then when they got there, we left. Yeah. But at least we made sure she was okay.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, well.
Probably not the kind of help she needed, but
yeah,
she was gonna get it anyways.
She was getting at least that sort of help. Yeah, that did get my attention though. You know, like I did. You know, it was a bit of an eye opener because you know the police that showed up, they were so indifferent to the situation.
Yeah, they were already treating her like she's already.
They were like, you know.
And
And
it's
I'm like, this
probably
lady's doing.
Yeah, and it's probably because they see
They see that
a
sort of
lot
stuff
of
all the time.
stories, but they can't treat everybody the
Well,
same.
I don't know. They're probably just jaded to that stuff.
But still, not everybody's the same story. They have to find out her story before they judge her for.
That's probably another episode.
Okay. True.
That's probably a different episode.
Okay.
The point here is that she was somebody who needed help,
and we helped her.
Yeah, and
That's
we
it.
offered up the help, and
Good.
She
didn't ask.
I think most people would have.
We found her.
Yeah, we found her in a heap,
we helped her.
like a sack of potatoes all folded over. Poor thing.
Poor thing.
Okay. I think we'll go ahead and end it here. We're at 45 minutes and down to one watcher. I'm not sure who that is. Probably counting us who are streaming. So, we'll conclude it this way. When it comes to being involved in a situation where you help someone, what do you think?
What? Help them if you can.
Okay.
Help them if you
Short
can.
and sweet.
Help them if you can, and if you can, if you don't have a way to help them, then you don't have a way to help them. But if you do,
there is no obligation.
No, there's no obligation. If you can, you can. If you can't, then you can't. There's no no, because there's been plenty of time where people come up to me and then they ask for, for money or can you help? And I'm like, I don't have no money. I don't have no cash.
But we can definitely, you know what? Let me touch up on a couple of things that we started with. We have been the beneficiary of that sort of kindness. So we were stuck in the grocery store when we were young, and our oldest two kids were babies, pretty much. Maya was 2 and Marcus was a baby, right? We were stuck in the grocery store. We'd come up short on the groceries, and we were in our teens still, I think. Both of us. No, you were early 20s, and I was. It doesn't matter. We were very young.
Very young.
We were trying to pay the remaining amount on the grocery bill with change.
Lots of change.
Lots and lots of change. Pennies, nickels, and dimes. And there was another woman who was behind us, and she covered it. And we attempted to give her what we had in change, and she said that was cool. Just press, go on about your business. It's cool. I got you.
Yeah.
So that was a courtesy or a kindness that was extended to us that we appreciated. We were in that line. We were coming up short, and we were, and another situation I was going to share too is that one time when we had that blowout when we were on our way from Dallas to
Abilene.
Yeah, we had a blowout. It was late at night, and there was nowhere to change the tire, so I had to pull over, and we were in the grass. And the grass was soft, and the car was sunk down into the grass, and I couldn't get the jack underneath the car, and then next thing you know, this guy pulls up behind us, right? Yeah. Asks if we need some help, and he lifted the car from the back high enough for me to get the jack in, and I was able to change the tire. And if that guy wouldn't have stopped, I mean, there were no cell phones back then.
There is no cell phone.
We'd have been on foot trying to get help, or putting out the old thumb. Either way, the situation would have been a lot more complicated. But that guy stopped to help, and in a few minutes, we were on our way again, thanks to his help. So we've been the beneficiary of those types of kindnesses. So I believe that it's if you feel so inclined, help somebody out who looks like they could use it. And like Vanessa said, if you provide some help, if you provide assistance to someone, right? Especially when it comes to money, spare a couple dollars to somebody. If you've done something out of the kindness of your heart, then it's not on you what they end up doing with that cash. Right. I mean, that's not the part we're focused on.
No.
So maybe it's something to consider. All that being said, for those of you who tuned in, thanks for watching. Thank you, Gotzi, for giving us a call and sharing your perspective. He was able to provide some perspective. Congratulations on that promotion. This is going to be posted on the YouTube channel, and if you like this broadcast and the episodes that we post, please subscribe, share, comment, provide some feedback, and hit the notification bell so you can see future episodes. This Way Out is also a website with blogs and feature articles about other people, and also where the interviews are posted. We also have a presence on Facebook and Instagram, thiswoe.light, at thiswoe.light, or just This Way Out, and Twitter, thiswoe_light, or just look up This Way Out. All those links are available on the YouTube channel, by the way. So if you're interested in visiting any of those other, see our presence on any of those other platforms, then by all means, please do so. This is my lovely wife, Vanessa, and hopefully she will be a staple on the live broadcast, but there is some indication that she just might be poking in every once in a while, so we will definitely appreciate, meaning me, myself, and I. She always gets on to me when I say we. We who? I and you watching would appreciate whenever she does pop in, because I think she offers some really good advice and some perspective. So thanks for tuning in. Check us out on any of the other platforms. And there was something else I wanted to say, but I can't remember what it was.
Just keeps on talking. That's the problem.
Well, that's my problem. I talk.
Yeah, we gotta go home now.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot for tuning in. God bless y'all. A ver, stop recording. Pues cómo para la cosa.
I don't know.